Hey guys, welcome back. It's your boy Manny here once again. Welcome to DFS Zone, your source for daily fantasy sport lineups for the NFL, NBA, and MLB. And of course, like always guys, I would appreciate a like on the video, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and do not forget to turn on those notifications. This way you do not miss any of my new uploads. Today is March 30th, 2018. We have a 8-game slate for the NBA today. Like I do always, I recap my stud 5 from the previous day. Everybody did fairly well yesterday, so that's pretty good. I did make a little bit of money on NBA. I made more money in MLB yesterday. I apologize that I did not get up the MLB video. I had a couple of personal things that came up in the middle of the afternoon that really set me back, and I wasn't able to even put up that video or get it all up and going. So I apologize for that. I will have an MLB video for the late slate today, and then hopefully by tomorrow I'll be able to do what I plan to do is probably give you two studs, not only the NBA and MLB, but also I would like to incorporate with the MLB season because I play all the slates. I play the early, if there's early games, I play the games at 8 o'clock like the Express, or I play the after hours, which is usually 2 or 3 games late at night. So I mix it up as well as the main. So and I do the same with basketball. Next season with basketball, what I'll do is I'll definitely give a stud 5 for the main, and then I'll give you maybe my top 2 or 3 plays for a after hours event or something like that. So that I'm going to try that with MLB starting today. So I will give you today in the video a stud 5 for the main, and then the after hour games I will give you at least three potential plays that I know that I believe will be good plays for the night in the after hours, and see how that goes. And this way I'm able to help you guys out in more than one slate if you guys play more than one slate like I do. Anyway, so let's dive into the recap of yesterday's stud 5. Yesterday I gave you Goran Dragic, Dwayne Wade, Kelly Oubre Jr., Markieff Morris, and Andrew Drummond. All of them played fairly well. Dragic played better than the previous game that I had him as a stud. He finished with 31.5 fantasy points, 6 field goals, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 3-pointer. He had a nice night, everything. He did a little bit of everything, which I expected. I did want him to produce more. Obviously, we all select somebody and we want them to, just go beyond value. He was slightly undervalued by about 5 or 6 fantasy points, but I will take the 31 as opposed to the 15 or whatever he put the previous time I had him as a stud. Next, we have Mr. Wade. He did fairly well. He was projected to be at about 26 fantasy points for his price. He put up 24.6. He had 2 field goals, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. He had 2 turnovers, but overall a little balance there as well. I'm not upset at all with Dwayne Wade's efforts here. I really thought he was going to put maybe more of a 30 spot, but he did not. But 24.6 I'll take in that lineup. Next we had Mr. Oubre Jr. He finished with 29.3 fantasy points, 5 field goals, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. And Mr. Oubre did very well. He was valued at about 24, 23 points, and he pulled in 29, so he was at like a positive 5 or 4. That's good. That's exactly what I expected him to do. I was hoping for about 25 to 30. He got 29. Markieff Morris, like I said yesterday, he was definitely a lock for me because he has just shown that he just dominated Detroit. I wanted him to hit more than 40. He got 39.7. He had a tremendous game. I mean, look at these numbers: 39.7 fantasy points, 5 field goals, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 blocks, 1 steal, 1 3-pointer, and 0 turnovers. A perfect game for Markieff Morris. Excellent job, man. He was at his value. He was supposed to put in about 27, 28. He put 39. He was like a positive 12. That is fantastic. Great job, Markieff Morris. Mr. Drummond, I said, there was no other center I really thought in the slate was the best bet last night. But Drummond did a heck of a job. 59.6 fantasy points, 10 field goals, 23 huge rebounds, 23. 4 assists, 1 block, and he only had 1 turnover, which is fantastic for a big man. 1 turnover. Finished with a positive 12 on that value, so I am happy with that as well. Hopefully some of you guys use these guys. I did use them in 2 lineups. I cashed in one. It was on the one of those 50-50s. Like I said before, my best yesterday was definitely in the Major League Baseball. You know, I will share that when I discuss Major League Baseball in the next video. But let's go on. Let's dive into the stud 5 for today, guys. On the 30th, we got a couple of nice games. Like I mentioned yesterday, you know, just remember a lot of these teams are battling for playoff positioning. You know, some teams are just, you know, they're gonna want to put up a really tough game against a good team, even if they're out of it. So I mean, you know, some people are playing for pride. Some guys are definitely just, you know, they have tanked out the year. They're not gonna play as hard. But 8-game slate. There are some games that are good to target here, like New Orleans, Cleveland. I would definitely consider, you know, having you guys target that game for players. Denver, OKC, the Minnesota Dallas game, the Clippers Portland game, and I would say another game would be good to get some players from is the Milwaukee LA Lakers game. Okay, so those are the games you should target. I'm not going to discuss the odds. I'm not going to, you know, all that stuff I already looked at. I'm just letting you know point blank, if you focus on those 4 or 5 games as opposed to the other ones I mentioned, you'll be okay. Not to say that you're not going to find good plays in any of the other games, because they are, and I think I have 1 or 2 of them in the Stuff 5 today. Well, let's just dive in, guys. Stuff 5, number 1, coming out. I'm going to give you one from each position. Point guard today, I'm going with Mr. Eric Bledsoe at LA for the Milwaukee Bucks. Bledsoe is going up against Milwaukee, and Bledsoe has had really some good success. Going up against the Lakers. He put up a 42 in his last game against Golden State, and he has had a 41, a 57, a 55 in 3 out of his last 5 games against LA this year. Earlier in the year, he had a 41-40. He did that in 29 minutes. That was back in October, so it was very early on. He played 29 minutes. He put up 28 points. You know, LA really struggles with the point. They're 28th in fantasy points. They're 30th dead last in fantasy points per minute. They're 18th in rebounds, which is pretty respectable, middle of the pack. They are 22nd in assists, and they are dead last in field goals made, the 2-point field goals made, you know, defending the point. So they definitely have their struggles. I think he is in an excellent position today to go off. And not only that, Milwaukee's still battling for positioning. They need every single game they can get right now. And then LA, they're just trying to finish up the year strong, and they have been playing very good basketball as a unit. I mean, this is definitely a team that if they would have gotten their stride going early on in the year, they could probably be battling for that last playoff seed. I really believe so. I like that young Lakers team. But they're playing at home. It's going to be a tough game for Milwaukee. Milwaukee really needs this game, so Bledsoe has got to definitely play well as Giannis and as well as Middleton. But I like Bledsoe today. Pencil him in as your first stud. Second stud, I'm going with somebody a little cheap, just to give you guys some room there. I'm going with Rodney Hood, Cleveland Cavaliers at home, playing against the Pelicans. The Pelicans definitely struggle against shooting guards. They are 27th in fantasy points. They are 28th in the league in fantasy points per minute. They're 25th in rebounding. They're 28th in the assist ratio, and their 2-point conversion, they're 25th. So they're like almost at the bottom of every category. And Mr. Hood has been playing very well as of late. You know, Rodney Hood. Let me find him here. Mr. Hood has put up some good games as of late. If I can get him here. Okay, Rodney Hood, yes, 21st. They're 21st overall. He has a 20, 21, and 30 in his last 3 games. And then he played the Pelicans back in February the 5th, and he put up, in 27 minutes, he put up 40 fantasy points. He actually had 30 points with 3 assists and 3 rebounds. I mean, he had an excellent game. He shot 12 out of 14 shots. He attempted 14 shots, and he hit 12. So, I mean, and he's playing very well. 2 out of his last 3 games against the Pelicans, he's put up 40 and 30. And he had 1 dud, which was only 10. In a game back on January the 3rd. But his last outing on the 5th, he went off on them, and he's playing very well right now, and the Cavaliers are giving him minutes. He's averaging about 20 to 25 right now. If he gets 25 today, and this game stays close, I see Rodney Hood getting a lot more time today, and I believe he will be a magical stud for you guys today. Pencil in Rodney Hood as your second stud. Small forward, I like Mr. Robert Covington today for Philadelphia. They're playing Atlanta. Covington's value has gone up a little bit. He's up to 6,000. Atlanta against small forwards is definitely struggling as well. They are, let's see, Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta's 29th in fantasy points, 29th in fantasy points per minute. They are 18th respectable in rebounding. They are 18th in assists, but they're dead last in field goals made, the 2-point field goal. So Mr. Covington should be in a good position. Overall, Atlanta, as an overall defensive team against the 3, they are 29th entirely in the league. Mr. Covington has had a 34, a 32, and a 37, just rounding it off in his last 3 games. So he's averaging 32 plus in 32 to 35 minutes. I mean, he could probably put up a little bit more. His last game against Atlanta was back in November. He put up a 34 spot. And he was valued at 6,400 then, and he's actually a little cheaper now. So I think he'll meet that value. He actually was only about 40%. He hit 7 out of 16 shots, but he took 11 threes and hit 6 of them. He had 22 total points. So, I mean, if he comes on the way he was, and that game was pretty respectable. It was a 119-109 win by Philadelphia, so it was definitely a high-scoring game. I think this is excellent. I think this is a good spot for Robert. I would say pencil him in today as your third stud. Fourth stud for today is the big man on top here, Anthony Davis. One of the first times I'm ever giving you guys Anthony Davis, or one of the bigger studs, as far as one of the stud plays of the day. He's just in an awesome situation here today. He's playing Cleveland. He's definitely has done his work there. We're projecting him to have about over 65 points. His last game he put up a 78. His last game against Cleveland he put up a 61 spot. That was back in October the 28th, very early on in the year. They won that game 123 to 101. He played 36 minutes. He put up 30 points, had 14 rebounds. He hit 50% from the 3-point spot. He hit 204, and he actually was 50% from the floor as he hit 11 out of 22 attempts. Cleveland, as we know, they are poor in certain areas. They are definitely poor in the power forward position. 29th in fantasy points, 29th in fantasy points per minute, dead last in rebounding, 30th in the league, 22nd in defending the assists to the 4th spot, and they're actually 27th in the league in 2-point conversions made by the 4. So very good spot for Anthony Davis. I think he's going to just crush value today. I wouldn't be surprised if he puts a 70, 80 spot in this game. And it's going to be a battle because LeBron is going to want to get busy too. So either or, we'll have a game today. I'm just banking on just Davis. It's just simply because of the defensive defense lacking there in that position against power forwards, and this guy's just so dominant. So pencil in Mr. Davis as your 4th stud. Stud number 5 is coming from the center spot, and I am going with Yusuf Nurkic. He has been on fire. 7,400 leaves you with 5,600. I got a couple value plays I'm going to share with you. 7,400. Mr. Yusuf has been doing it all, as of late. They're playing the Clippers. They're 28th ranked in the league as far as defending the big man. Fantasy points, they are dead last, 30th. Fantasy points per minute, they're 28th in the league. Rebounding, they're 28th in the league. In assists, they're also a little poor there, 17th in the league, which is pretty respectable as in the middle of the pack. And then defending against the 2-point shot, they definitely have their problems there as well. They are 24th in the league overall. As I already said, they are 28th overall in the entire NBA as far as defending the big men. He has been on fire. 5 out of his last 6 games, he has hit value 41, 46, 43. He had 1 dud at 24 against Boston, and then he had a 54 against Houston, 41 against LA, He's just been tearing it up, and this is all within 26 to 29 minutes on the floor. And we all know, as of late, he's actually been getting, his minutes have gone up slightly. Against the Clippers, he put up a 41 spot and a 43 spot, respectively, in the 2 games previous against the Clippers. And 29 and 27 minutes, he put up 17 and 12 and 14 and 20 as far as points and rebounds. So, again, like I said before, Clippers are in a bad situation. They don't defend the bigs that well, and this guy has literally just been playing really excellent basketball, as well as the entire Portland team. Other than the other night with no Lillard, they definitely lost that game after that big game by Mr. C.J. McCollum. But nonetheless, this team is going to be very scary the way they're playing right now. I like Portland, and I like Mr. Yusuf Nurkic today as my 5th stud. So there goes your 5 studs, guys. You have Bledsoe, Hood, Covington, AD, and Mr. Nurkic. I think these guys are going to do great. You're saying to yourself, well, where am I going to get 5,600 per player? There are a couple of guys here that we can look at. Let's go over to point guard. And I would say right now you definitely could target George Hill at 4,600 playing against New Orleans. New Orleans is 29th in the league in fantasy points. They are also 28th in fantasy points per minute. What else we have here? Dead last in rebounding the point, and they are 27th in assists as well as 29th in field goals. I mean, George Hill is somebody I am targeting. I think he's a good play. We got obviously Phoenix. You could definitely go, here as well. But I mean, we don't know. Phoenix is pretty poor, but you don't have actually a value play there. I would say next value play will come out of this Dallas Minnesota game. You could think of Tyrese Jones here, or Andrew Harrison is out. Shabazz Napier, no, he's probably not going to get as many minutes, obviously. Not too many choices here. I mean, these 2 guys here, excellent possible plays. I mean, Isaiah Taylor has been on fire as of lately, the last few games. I mean, let's take a look at him real quickly. Mr. Taylor. Isaiah Taylor. Yeah, I got him here. Yeah, he's put up a 35 and a 32 and a 31 in 3 out of his last 4 games, and then his hit value is 6 out of his last 8. And then he has played Philly. He played 18 minutes against Philly back in November, which obviously he wasn't a part of the starting unit. Now with Mr. Schroeder still not 100%, he has been getting a lot of light here. And then Markelle Fultz, 4,600, and we all know he just came back. And he has played only 13 and 14 minutes, and he's put up 25 and 25. So imagine if his minutes go up to 18 or 19 or 20 minutes, he's going to be a great player at 4,600 because he could possibly get you 30 spot to 35 spot. So I like Markelle here. So I would think those are the 3 guys you should concentrate on: is Mr. Hill for Cleveland, Mr. Taylor, or Fultz. Those are the best value plays here to be on that 5,600 or lower. I think those are great plays here. Shooting guard. Let's go with you have Phoenix here again. You got Harden, but Harden is not a value. Troy Daniels against Houston. I mean, Houston, they have their struggles, but they're not that poor at shooting guard. Devin Harris here could be a possibility. Jamal Crawford is always a possibility. Selden is 4,300. Tyreek Evans is out. I mean, you're going to see Selden is going to get some time. Yeah, he's getting 20 to 25, 26 minutes. The only thing is you don't know if he's going to get him when he's hot or when he's cold. But he has a lot of upside, as you can see. He could put up as much as 37 fantasy points. So Wayne Selden, I think, is in play. Tyrone Wallace is in play. He had a big game the other night, or last night. Look at that, 34. That was against Phoenix, though. 30 points in 34 minutes, fantasy points. So you got Mr. Wallace, someone you consider. We here always got to consider Jason Terry. I had him in a lineup last night. He did fairly well. 21 minutes, 21 points, 31 and 30. So he's pretty much averaging in his last 2 games a fantasy point per minute, and that's a good return. And if at 3,800, I mean that's good value if you can get that from him. Yeah, that's what I see here, guys. At small forward for 5,600 or less. I don't like the Philadelphia game. Like I said, here definitely, you could consider Clarkson, but he's not getting as much run as Ronnie Hood. And over here, 5,800, Eric Gordon is in play, no doubt about it. Like I said here, yeah, Devin Harris. I mean, you could go Will Barton here. He's in a good spot. I like Will Barton here. Will Barton here against OKC. OKC is in the bottom of the barrel. Also, shooting guard, 28th in fantasy points, 27th in fantasy points per minute. Dead last in rebounding at 30th. They're 26th in assists, and they are 26th in 2-point conversions converted by shooting guards. So I like Mr. Barton here, 6,600. Yeah, Andrew Wiggins, same thing, same spot here against Dallas, 6,700. So you got a couple of plays here. Small forward. Take a quick look. Under 6. Wilson Chandler against OKC. Let's see, OKC. OKC is not too bad defensively against small forwards. Evan Turner's in a good spot. We know the Clippers are pretty poor. We'll see a small forward. Yeah, Clippers 25th in fantasy points, 25th in fantasy points per minute. The Clippers are 20th, near the bottom in rebounding, 29th in assists, and they are 21st in 2-point conversions made by the 3. So Turner's been playing mostly as of late. He's the one who's been playing. We got 35 and 29 minutes in his last 2 games. So Turner is definitely in play here. Power forward, couple of suggestions. Ben Simmons is definitely in play at 9,600 if you don't want to play Anthony Davis. So is Julius Randle. I like Dario Saric here as well, and definitely Kyle Kuzma, 6,500 if you don't want to go with any of these guys here. Larry Nance Jr. 5,500. He's in play definitely today at this power forward spot. Especially if there's no Kevin Love, which I doubt. I think they're going to take their time with Kevin. I foresee him not playing today. We haven't got any word, but if you just stay on top of the injury news. If anything, Larry Nance is in play, guys. $5,500. I think he's a good play, and he will also get more minutes. Got 17, 18, and 19. Look at that. 29 in his last outing in 19 minutes. I mean, he crushed value. And then over here, you have 20 in 18 minutes. I mean, you're getting more than 1 fantasy point per minute in his last 2 games. So I would say that's a good play. He's definitely in play. John Collins is in play here with Philadelphia. Derek Favors definitely here against Memphis. And Gibson is definitely in a good spot here with Dallas. I think Dallas is pretty weak in a power forward position as well. Dallas 26th in the league in fantasy points, 26th in fantasy points per minute. They are 29th in rebounding, which is Gibson's specialty. Assist, Dallas is 29th as well. And they're a little respectable in the field goal. They are 17th. No, actually, I am wrong. They're 24th. So they struggle there as well. So he's definitely in play for me for 5,300. So, like, again, guys, there are some value plays. There are some guys here that you can tap into. Jabari Parker here against the Lakers in a fast-paced game and them needing to win. I did have him as a stud play about a week back, and he let me down. But look, his last game, 25 minutes, 14, 7, and 3, put up 26 fantasy points at 4,600. That's a deal. That's definitely a deal. Center. If you're not targeting Jusuf, you definitely got to target Mr. Towns if you want to pay that. If you're not going with AD, if you're not using AD as one of your studs or LeBron, then Karl Anthony Towns is a good spot. Is a good play. Always Jokic is always a good play. Denver and OKC, that'll be a battle. I mean, Steven Adams loves the bang, and this guy Jokic, he's a beast, man. He's just a beast. Gobert in a good spot here as well. Capella. There's nobody in Phoenix. So Capella's going to get his points. There are a couple good plays here at center. I think that one of the better plays is Brook Lopez against Milwaukee. Milwaukee definitely is one of the lower tier teams defensively against centers. They're 22nd here on my research here. 22nd in fantasy points. They are 20th in fantasy points per minute. They are 24th in rebounds and assists. They're 25th, and in field goals, 2-point conversions on them by the center, they're 24th. So definitely Brook Lopez, and the way he's been playing as of late, he's been getting the minutes. Let me take a quick look at him over here. Mr. Lopez. Yeah, Milwaukee's 25th overall. Lopez has had a 42 and a 46 spot in his last 2 games against Dallas and Detroit. And then against Milwaukee, he did have a dud his last outing, but that was back in November, and he only played 20 minutes. It wasn't a lot of usage. But now, as we all know, he is getting the use. He has been just tearing it up. He had 38 minutes in his previous game, 31, 34, 30, 37, 32, 36. For the last 7 or 8 games, he's been getting 31 points plus, to as high as 38 minutes. So he's getting his share. If you don't want Mr. Yusuf, hey, maybe Mr. Brook Lopez is a good spot there to replace with, and he's actually $300 cheaper. So again, guys, you got a number of plays. All right, there's a couple of guys who could play. At the bottom tier, nobody here other than Tristan Thompson and Muscala. Muscala has been getting minutes. Dwayne Dedman and him are pretty much sharing the time pretty much there. As you can see, 25, 27, 27, 29, 28. He's been at, he's averaging almost a point per minute. So he's actually been doing very well, I would definitely have him as a consideration if you wanted to get 2 studs out of here, which you can if you put in Tristan Thompson or Muscala. So again, guys, nothing's guaranteed. Like I tell you over and over again, I give you my best recommendation. These are guys that I'm targeting. These are some of the guys I did mention here as value plays or plays. These are all other guys that I'm targeting. Pretty much my pool of players for the day. And you just mix and match any way you want, and hopefully you'll be able to put a nice lineup together that's going to be, a winning lineup for you. But guys, that's pretty much it for this video. You got your 5 studs. We'll go over them again. You got Bledsoe, Hood, Covington, Davis, and Merchant. And again, Major League Baseball video. I'm going to work on it right now. We're going to have something for you guys today for sure. And basically, hey man, good luck tonight. God bless. Your boy Manny is out.